Happy Friday. I'm so happy to be here with you today. It has been quite the week for me. I was really glad to wake up and have it be Friday morning. It's one of those days where you just realize that the week has been long, it's been hard, and you're glad to see the weekend. In today's live, I want to share with you how I failed. Yeah, how I failed just this week and what God showed me about it. I want you to be encouraged. Because see, I am no stranger to failure. I failed licensing exams multiple times. I've been passed over for promotions. I've ended engagements. I've felt the betrayal of friendship. And then after being laid off, I became an entrepreneur who learns through what doesn't work. Again, failure. This week, I even failed at my calling. Is that even possible? You betcha it is, because I just did it. I fumbled and fouled up those things that God had called me to do. Those things we are not naturally equipped for. Not naturally equipped means it's a setup for something to go wrong. And it did. And it was public. Oh, why? Why does this happen to me? I'll tell you why. Because God does his best work in weakness. Because he wants us to stop striving. He wants us to just be real and raw and messy. I don't like weakness and messy. I like neat and orderly. But as beautifully said by someone who watched me fail, Sherilyn, perfection isn't authentic. No, it isn't. Refining is. Refining takes those places that are dirty and broken and jagged and rough, and it places it in the fire so it can come out differently. Refining takes those unwanted things, those impurities, and removes them through processing. I hate process. I want things to be perfect. Anybody else? God wants to defeat the perfectionist in me and in you. He wants to defeat it so utterly and completely. We are not refined and rebuilt as robots. We are refined and rebuilt so that everyone knows that what comes out of us isn't us at all. Instead, we're filled with something that isn't us at all. We're filled with the power of God. And then it's only then that we can truly be equipped for the calling that God has for us. None of us and all of him. And failure helps us get there. So as I said in my word drop this week, if I must boast, I will boast of the things that show my weakness. Because as Romans 8:26 says, God shows up to help us in our weakness. And Paul describes how his grace, God's grace, is sufficient, and his power, God's power, rests on us and is made perfect in our places of weakness, in our places of failure. Look back at your failures and ask God to refine you in them so that God can be displayed through them. If you're not sure how, let's do it together. Talk to you next week.